few minutes delayed than expected, but we are so thankful to be playing this softball game tonight here on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network between two teams that are off to torrid starts as we hit the home stretch of this 2022 softball season. It is the number 7 team in 3A, the Spartans of Connersville, against the number 7 team in 4A, the Arabians of Pendleton Heights. Alongside Jim Leisure, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us. And the first win of the day belongs to the grounds crew and the staff here at Pendleton Heights. It was raining sideways late in the 4 o'clock hour, early in the 5 o'clock hour, hence the reason we're delayed by about 20 or 25 minutes. But given the tenor of these two teams, we kind of knew, hey, if there's a way we could play this game today, we were going to, and here we are. This is a showcase game across the state of Indiana.
Without question, Greg, and then, you add to the fact that Connersville has to come so far. You certainly want to do everything in your power to get it in. We do have lights. I mean, I was not necessarily giving up. I thought we could probably wait till 7 or 7:30 to get this thing started. We are lucky to be starting at about 6:25.
Pendleton Heights checks in at 14-3 on the season. There you see Eliza Finley, their starting pitcher. The numbers that jump off the page, the fact that she has thrown just shy of 74 innings already on the season. She has walked 15 and struck out 53. The Arabians have used just 2 pitchers on the season. Now, you will see the numbers that will roll through here for the Spartans of Connersville. I'm not sure I've ever seen a number like this. Their team batting average, 15 games into the season, is above 500.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Obviously, they come to swing the bats. They also like to run when they get on base, have over 80 stolen bases as a team for the season. But, yeah, some of the batting averages, you see Brock there at 475, and she's just a freshman, are borderline obscene. They are just very impressive.
2 home runs and 17 runs batted in for Bree this season. She is the starting second baseman, one of 3 freshman starters for head coach Steve Rubel of Connersville. They come in at 14-1 on the campaign. Finley's first pitch in for a strike. In Connersville plays primarily a 3A schedule. This kind of starts a great finishing kick for them. They're going to have a game against New Pal coming up next week. They've always got a rivalry game with Union County, which is one of the better teams in 2A. This year they play in what is largely a good 3A league in the Eastern Indiana Conference. The Connersville trying to test their mettle here before the postseason starts, basically 3 weeks from today.
Well, Finley jumps ahead. No balls, 2 strikes here. Interesting how Brock has lined up basically different all 3 pitches in the box.
These are 2 teams that have combined for 49 home runs on the season. Again, this is game 18 for Pendleton Heights, game 16 for Connersville. Ball tends to travel well here, and the wind is blowing out. You do the math on that. The 1-2. Change up, slow roller. Third baseman's got it. Fire over to first, and there's one down. By the way, the infield for Pendleton Heights, Libler, Gregory, Shelton, Goodwin. Kylie Ryan is the catcher. Hubble, Brunimer, and Koffel in the outfield. Behind Finley in the circle. Here's Sarah Rubel, shortstop with 5 home runs and 20 runs batted in on the season.
Britton Libler, just nice job there. Just picks it up and fires across the diamond in plenty of time.
Little high, 1-0 the count.
Libler actually fielded at a 909 percentage or success rate. And at the hot corner, that's not too bad.
One of the 3 losses for the Pendleton Heights squad this year, coming to number 1 Roncalli. Of course, led by a young woman that is thought to maybe be the best high school pitcher in the country in Keegan Rothrock. Yesterday, Roncalli beat Cathedral in 5 innings, which means there were 15 outs in the game, and she had 14 strikeouts.
And having said that, though, I thought the Arabians hitters did a fantastic job. They had 3 home runs off of her, which I don't know that that's ever happened to young Keegan. Maybe it has, but I'm certain that the Arabian hitters got her attention.
I haven't checked her. I think literally half the runs she's allowed all year came in that game.
Okay.
2-1 the count, but it shows you just how good this Pendleton Heights ball club is. That one sails out of the zone, 3-1 the count. Of course, sectional pairings were announced in this sport on Sunday night. We'll go over those throughout the course of the broadcast as well. Pendleton Heights in sectional number 9 in 4A. On the southern half of the bracket, Connersville in sectional number 30 with all Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference rivals. And a walk worked by Rubel. So Finley averages about one of those every 5 innings and gives up one of the second batter at the plate. 1 on and 1 out. So Bailey Spurlock. Spurlock 2 home runs and 19 runs batted in this year.
We already talked about it. Sarah Rubel has 20 stolen bases on the season, so we'll see whether or not Coach Rubel decides to put her in motion.
The one thing's a little bit different today. You have a Division I recruit behind the dish.
No doubt about it, and she does have a gun, and we're, of course, talking about Kylie Ryan. And, yeah, it'd be interesting. Honestly, I want her to run just to see if she can throw her out. I'm not coaching either team, so I really don't care if she save her out.
Ryan will play at Butler next year. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 0-2. Had a chance to see Butler in action a couple of weeks ago. They are having their best season since joining the Big East 8 years ago. They set a league record for wins as of 2 weeks ago, did the Bulldogs. This one sails. They'll throw behind the runner. Close play. Again, it's a different level of team and player they are facing in Ryan behind the dish today, 1-2.
No doubt about it, and I don't know if we'll get a good replay on it. I do believe that she was safe. She gets to the back of the bag, which is the way you coach it. You want your players to get to the furthest corner of the bag, make that first baseman reach as far as they have to.
It was bang, bang for sure. Frankly, my opinion might have changed after seeing the replay versus seeing it first time through. 2-2.
Yeah, it looked to me like maybe the glove hit the ground first before it got into the runner's armpit there, but I think she was safe.
2-2. That one kind of sawed off the bat of Spurlock. Spurlock batting in the range of 600 on the year. Oftentimes we will say, hey, there are this many hitters batting north of 300, this many batting north of 400. Well, to put it in perspective, 8 of the 9 batters for Connersville are hitting better than 400 on the season. You picked the proper word, obscene, to describe that. 2-2. Line drive, caught, could be 2, should be 2, will be 2, 6-3. Good runner taking their natural lead off the bases. Shortstop snares it in Gregory. And it's a line drive double play to end the inning, and something that is rare for the Spartans this year. A 0 goes on the board. So the one base runner is doubled off. No hits, no runs, and one walk that gets wasted in the top of the first. The Arabians will come to bat to start the bottom of the first inning.
I'm not sure if we're going to get the replay here. One of the ways you always coach line drives, we used to call it FOLD, fold. Freeze on a line drive. Don't go anywhere. The ball's hit on the line. You're going to see a good replay here. And the ball's clearly hit on a line. And see how many steps she takes. 1, 2, 3. And that's why you're out from me to you. If she had frozen there, she had a shot to get back. I still don't know whether she got back or not. But, again, you got to be fundamentally sound. And, unfortunately, for Connersville, Sarah Rubel was not real sound there.
So, starting pitcher for Connersville in the circle today is Shelby Wolski. Wolski, one of 4 hurlers that have seen action for Connersville so far this year. On the year, she has a 4-0 record. She has thrown 37 innings. She does have a couple of saves as well. This is her 10th appearance of the season. Her ERA a little bit above 2.8. She has walked 5 and struck out 37 this year, has Shelby. Defensively behind her, Spurlock, Sarah Rubel, Brock, Brescher. Behind the dish is Carmen Rubel. In the outfield will be Lucas, Dunaway, and Green. Leading things off will be Kaya Hubble for Pendleton Heights, the left fielder, who was batting .477 on the campaign with 4 runs batted in.
Well, we've seen Kaya Hubble 2 or 3 times already this season, and I can tell you that's probably a pretty legitimate .477. She's a really good hitter and a great base runner. And again, you're going to get some of these kids that do this. To have basically 8 or 9 of them in a lineup is very, very rare.
This one sails a bit high. I want to know the count. In Connersville, the victory that against Shelbyville has certainly caught the folks' attention here at Pendleton Heights, as that does graze the outside corner, 1-1 the count. And that's in part because of just how good this conference has become in softball. Obviously, what Ed Markham has done over the years at New Pal, catches your attention with 6 state championships at the 3A level. Pendleton Heights, year in, year out, one of the top softball programs in the state. But Mount Vernon has stepped up what they do from a softball standpoint. Shelbyville's had a very good run the last few years. Slapper, first baseman. Could you win the foot race? Yes. Well done. That is Rayleigh Brescher that makes the play, and there's one down.
Yeah, you talked about it, Greg. Again, Shelbyville felt like they should have beaten New Palestine last year. You're going to see the replay here. Nice job by Brescher, just kind of backhanding this ball in the dirt and getting herself righted and then getting over to the bag. And, of course, again, well coached. Don't run through the bag. If you run through the bag there, you're going to get ran over. So get to the bag, use the bag to push back off.
Here's Haley Brunimer. Haley, 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. Center fielder. First one misses outside. Want to know the count. And, of course, 2 teams from this league met in the 4A. I didn't mean the 4A semi-state, but it was not New Pal that made it to the semi-state because of running into Roncalli in the sectional semifinal. It was Mount Vernon that made it to the semi-state, and it took Roncalli extra innings to beat them 1-0 in the semi-state last year. And that changeup is smashed to left field for a base hit. Much like Connersville, 1 on, 1 out here for the Arabians. Caroline DeRolf, who is the DP for Pendleton Heights. And you can see why they'd like to have her bat specifically in the lineup, because she's hitting .577 with a home run and 15 runs batted in.
Yeah, talking a little bit about Brunimer, the previous hitter on first base. She had 2 of those home runs against Keegan Rothrock against Roncalli a couple weeks ago. So she can absolutely swing the bat.
Turns on this one. Other losses, by the way, for this Pendleton Heights squad. 3-2 loss to Avon and a 5-3 league loss to Shelbyville. It has just kind of worked itself out that a lot of the conference games have had to have been rescheduled for Pendleton Heights. They've only played 2 of their 7 league games at this point. So the last 2 weeks of the season will virtually be nothing but league contests for the Arabians. Although they added another non-conference game today. This one hammered, right center field, should get to the wall, should be runners on second and third. Brunimer, they will hold her at third right. They're needing to force the issue, knowing the talented players you got coming up behind you. But a couple of balls tattooed last time up for the Arabians.
Well, tattooed is exactly right. Just great barrel the ball up here and just take it into right field. Brunimer was checking the third base coach as she was rounding second to see what she could see, and really what she saw was a stop sign, so wisely held at third.
So here is Kylie Ryan. 5 home runs, 18 runs batted in. One of my memories of Kylie from a year ago is breaking up a perfect game with a home run. One of the few games that got completed in last year's Horseshoe Classic. An event that sadly was completely scrapped this year, as we are set to broadcast that every year on NineStar and ISC. Ryan quickly gets behind 0-2. Not surprisingly, the 0-2 pitch was nowhere close to the zone. 1-2.
Well, and the cancellation of that Horseshoe Classic this year was absolutely 100% the correct decision. The day ended up being about 34 degrees for a high.
Oh, I did college baseball that day. It was not fun.
Yeah, that's just miserable for everybody. Miserable for the fans, players, coaches.
That event, by the way, brings in Crown Point, Chesterton, Center Grove, Decatur Central, Jennings County. Those were the other teams that were slated to play here that day. Ryan up the middle. That will score a run. They'll throw to first. They'll get the out. But an RBI for Ryan. At this point, at second and third, you'll take the run for the out if you're Connersville. It's 1-0 Arabians, but 2 down.
Yeah, the idea, of course, is to stay out of the big inning. And, like you said, we'll trade a run for an out right there. Brings up 2 outs and, another runner on third base. So barring a pass ball, you see shortstop fires it over in plenty of time. You should get us inning if you're fortunate without giving up a hit here and only 1 run.
Here's Chloe Gregory. First pitch swinging. Somewhere towards Jim's car. 0-1 the count. Chloe going to play at Huntington University next year. We have a chance to see the Foresters coming up on Thursday and Friday on the ISC Sports Network. We are thrilled to have the Crossroads League softball tournament those 2 days from Marion.
Of course, everything will be dependent upon what happens Wednesday because it is a tournament, so you got winners and losers of Game 6 plays, all that stuff going on.
Ball gets away from the catcher. Runner going to try to advance. Could be a play at the plate. Throw and tag and got her. DeRolf tried to force the issue, make the catcher make a play. That she did, and the inning is over. So the damage limited to 1 run. Arabians take a 1-0 lead going to the top of the second. As you're watching high school softball here on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned NineStar Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in Central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at NineStarConnect.com. NineStar is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Who knew that NineStar Connect, a local smart utility, has the fastest internet in Indiana? NineStar offers speeds up to 2 gig. That's upload and download speeds. Try getting that from any other provider. No data limits or caps on speed. The speed you pay for is the speed you get. NineStar has state-of-the-art fiber optics with a dedicated line to each house. NineStar Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew?
Once again, thanks to John Painter and his crew. Always great to be working with the guys at NineStar Films alongside 4, 5, and 6 coming up this time through. Take a look at the third out of the inning. And again, that's a decision by DeRolf. Hey, see if you can beat the pitcher to home plate. If the catcher bobbles the pickup at all, you're going to score. But catcher made the play, out recorded 2-1, and on to the top of the second we go. Brescher, 5 home runs, 19 runs batted in. First pitch fastball tails away, ball 1.
And Greg, you talked about, again, as a coach, sometimes you're just waiting and hoping that just that bobble that you described is there. If it's there, we win. If it's not, we probably lose. But a lot of coaches are willing to take that chance.
And frankly, you take that chance early in the game because you kind of see what the other team will do in that scenario. And you file that away for the rest of the game. Fastball stings the inside corner, 1-1 the count. Outfield playing slightly to pull here for the cleanup hitter, and understandably so given the offensive prowess of this Spartan team. Kind of alternating outside, inside. That one misses away, 2-1.
I remember as a coach, I always tried to be very aggressive on the base paths. I would tell my kids, go ahead and take those 2 extra steps. You know, if she does field the ball cleanly, slam on the brakes, try to get back, you know, get down, slide. But we always try to put pressure on the defense.
3-1. And walks have not been frequent from Finley this year, but you kind of understand why maybe you pitch around a couple of these hitters for Connersville, given the numbers they have put up this year.
Nice stop there by Kylie Ryan, the senior catcher. Nobody on base, but it's good to see that she's working on her skills, getting better.
And that one misses. Leadoff walk. So second walk and 4 batters faced. Here's Paige Dunaway. Dunaway, the first lefty we have seen come to the plate for Connersville. Home run and 19 runs batted in. Runner stays put. That one pounds the mitt of Ryan, 0-1.
Runner first, Kaylee Brescher, not one of the top base stealers for this Spartan team. Be real surprised if she tried to go.
Sky high pop-up. Ryan, pitcher's got it and got knocked to the dirt in the process. Normally the pitcher gets out of the way, but she seemed to have a beat on that from the start. Everybody seems to be fine, 1 down.
Well, you're exactly right. It does look like everybody's going to be okay. But again, you talked about it. Infield fly ball priority. Third baseman should be calling that. And honestly, the pitcher needs to get out of the way. I always told my kids, you know, the pitcher and the catcher are working hard enough, right? Actually, there's only 2 people working. The rest of us are kind of standing around.
Strike called to Lucas.
So, you know, I don't want my pitcher and or my catcher to field any fly balls if we can avoid it. Clearly, I know there's times you can't. But, again, we work on that, too. You know, we work on that communication drill as well.
4 home runs and 22 runs batted in for Lucas. Lucas, a sophomore. We mentioned just how, you know, young this lineup is. 3 seniors on the roster for Connersville, 1 in the starting 9 today. In other words, they're going to be really good again next year, too. Little popped up that Ryan is able to make the play on. Pressure never left the bag, and there's 2 down.
A nice little play there again by the aforementioned Kylie Ryan behind the plate. You're going to get a great look of it here. The ball just kind of off the bat and got some nasty spin on it, but Ryan never gives up, makes a nice play.
So here's the pitcher in Wolski. Home run and 10 runs batted in for Wolski. It's in for a strike. Every player in the Connersville lineup has at least a home run this year of today's starters. 23 as a team. Only one really they've kind of squared up so far was the line drive to the shortstop that Gregory turned into an inning-ending double play in the top half of the first.
Yeah, and credit Eliza Finley out there on the mound, changing speeds, changing spots. The idea is to keep their eyes moving. You know, is the pitch up? Is it down? Is it in? And is it out? But don't let them get comfortable.
Pulled a string on that one and just couldn't keep it from breaking before it got to home plate. In other words, it kind of dove a little low before it got to that front edge of the plate. Count it 2-1.
Yeah, the old phrase is, falls off the end of a table. That's the way that pitch is supposed to be. Right at the front of home plate, it's supposed to just drop. And it did.
So brings back the fastball that is sprayed foul. And the count goes to 2-2. So Finley one pitch from getting out of the, I wouldn't say a jam, but getting out of the top of the second. See Coach Rob Davis here at Pendleton Heights. He and his staff again doing a fantastic job, not just in coaching these young ladies up, but putting together as rugged of a schedule as they could find. This one, I think the park's going to hold it. Center fielder's got it. That's Brunimer. And the inning is over. Well, this is our first of 2 softball games we'll have for you here at Legends Field this week. And we think the one on Thursday could be every bit as good as this one, if not better. We talked about what Mount Vernon did last year, making the 4A semi-state. Again, they have eyes on doing that, if not more so. They'd have to get through Pendleton Heights to get there, the 2 favorites, if you will, in sectional number 9. And they will meet in conference play on Thursday. John Herrick will join Jim Leisure for that one with the first pitch slated again for Thursday evening. You take a look at the standings, and like I said, Pendleton Heights, they literally will play like 4 conference games in the span of 7 or 8 days over the last couple of weeks of the season. Then they got a little ground to make up, but to again show you the kind of the level nature and the great depth of this league. Again, a lot of and ones
absolutely
on that screen.
And Newcastle at 1 and 2 certainly is still in the mix as well. I mean, I would think the only team right now that has no legitimate shot of finishing in the top half is Delta. But, I mean, again, because obviously at some point when some of these teams start playing each other, Yorktown playing, blah, 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 eventually you're going to start putting 2s up on the board as well.
And let me point out that the majority of those schools are now in 4A for this sport. Shelbyville, Mount Vernon, Pendleton Heights, and New Pal are in 3 different sectionals. So there's a chance for some of those schools to go deep. This one was well struck, but just directly at the left fielder. Again, it wasn't the first pitch that Gregory saw because she was at the plate last inning. But first pitch this time around, tomahawk to left and line drive caught by Lucas, and there's 1 down.
Yeah, one of the things I really like to see there was Chloe Gregory when she came back. She stopped Bo Shelton before she got in the box and communicated with her, hey, this is what I saw. Look for this pitch. So let's see if she's ready to tee off.
Time is called. Music, and it was because the music was playing in the background.
Yep.
So we reset here. First pitch swinging here, too. Shortstop makes the play. Could you get the speedy Shelton? Yes. Good stretch by the first baseman in Brescher, and in the blink of an eye, there's 2 down.
Just a really good defensive play on both sides. Like you said, nice job of picking it and a real good job of kind of stretching and getting it. Again, ball kind of hit to the shortstop's right a little bit. Comes up throwing quickly. And nice dig by Brescher there. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
That's in for a strike.
Not surprised that Caitlin Goodman would take one there. You certainly don't want to. See, to me, that's the perfect inning. You talk about, pitchers always talk about the perfect inning being nine pitches, 9 strikes. To me, it's 3 ground balls.
Did she offer? Apparently not. 1-1 the count.
I mean, I and many, many others were glad to see the IHSAA years ago in baseball to go to a pitch count as opposed to an inning.
Nicely done to snare that by the pitcher in Wolski, and she offered all of 5 pitches in the inning. 3 of them resulted in and out. On to the top of the third we go. Arabians lead at 1-0. It's high school softball on 9Star and the ISC Sports Network.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building for Varun Zoya. Waits, Waddell finishes and lays it in.
There is right now the play of the game.
Better finish. Good. We might see that on plays of the week.
Great feed. The finish.
Spin, win, 3. Bury it in the lane. No, gun, yes. Stop.
Whoa, what a play. Flying in.
At NineStar Connect, our history spans back to the late 1800s, where family time, building livelihoods and neighborhoods, sharing stories of the day, and looking forward to chasing new dreams were important to all of us. Today, NineStar still values these things. That's why we have a local 24/7, 365 support center. We are still here for you, as it's been for the past 125 years. At NineStar Connect, we're a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
To the top of the third we go. Jade Green will lead things off. For the Spartans, the right fielder. Home run and 5 runs batted in her freshman campaign. So 8, 9, and 1. Connersville has gotten a walk in each inning. They have not advanced a runner past first base at this point. And that one tails out of the zone, 1-0 the count. Chased one out of the zone that time. 1-1 the count.
A little thing there, Greg, that Jade Green did before the pitch was she kind of moved up in the box just a little bit at the last second. And she was expecting maybe something off speed. Instead got a little bit more of a fastball and was behind it.
Fouled that one straight back. And the count goes to 1-2.
And we talk about, just about every broadcast, that's a good catcher and a senior catcher, the likes of Kylie Ryan. She's going to notice that little step, that little 3 or 4 inch move forward. And if there's time, drop the old number 1. Again, just kind of the game within the game. Younger catchers may not get that, may not see that. But honestly, you're going to get past Kylie Ryan.
Off the end of the bat, and that one will trickle foul. I referenced the fact that Connersville was in sectional 30. I was off by a number, 29.
Well, of course, those things change, from every 2 years. Sometimes you're in this section, you're in 21, or you're in 22. And
they know they're always in with their conference rivals.
Right.
Ever since they made the move from 4A to 3A a handful of years ago. 1-2, again, lifted foul. In litter their section, which is at Franklin County for softball, is the 7 teams in the 3A level that play in the EIAC. East Central is the largest school of that league. Other 7 are 3A high schools. They will take on Greensburg in their sectional opener. Count is 1-2. Now 2-2. And again, really, Connersville has not been challenged by anybody in their own league just yet.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why you get in the bus and you drive up here,
yep,
and you play good teams. I mean, if you don't have them around you, you got to go find them. Just like the Horseshoe Classic, you got teams from Lake Central.
Popped up. Ryan didn't like the play she had, so she let it spin back to her, 2-2.
Very wise move. Again, veteran move. If you realize you can't catch it in the air, and we're going to see the replay here, She obviously didn't feel like she could get out there. She could have dove, I guess, but then realized, I'm not going to do it. Saw the spin. We'll just play the foul ball.
Maybe what Kylie didn't realize, the runner had stopped. She makes that play in fair territory.
Absolutely.
But we have the benefit of looking at that. Ryan was just trying to set that play up anyway.
Yeah.
She made the more difficult play the next swing. And there's one away. Second foul pop-up that Ryan has caught behind home plate. That one had a bit of extra degree of difficulty.
Tremendous effort. I mean, it was just laying out and totally selling out. You're going to see a great replay here, great angle. Just does her little Superman impression there, and nice play.
So here's Rubel. It's easy to see that Ryan is going to play a very high level of softball. This one, line left field, gets down for a base hit. First base hit for Connersville. And the fact that a team that is batting 500 on the year, it took 9 batters to be the case, tells you how well that Finley is pitching so far for Pendleton Heights. But there is a runner on for the third time in as many innings for the Spartans.
Well, and of course, Carmen Rubel, the 9-hitter for Connersville there, is batting a lowly and embarrassing 659. That's where I always put my 600 hitters in the 9-hole.
It's kind of like having a second leadoff hitter.
It really is,
yeah.
and that's what they're doing. But, you would think, because she absolutely tattooed that ball. That ball was hit well. And then you go, okay, she's batting 659, but what, like in 8 at-bats? No, she's had like 45 at-bats.
Right. In for a strike. 0-2 the count. And again, frankly, those at-bats would be more for Connersville had they not been playing so many 4.5 and 5-inning games so far this year.
And I don't know if she's been batting ninth the whole time, but clearly when you bat first, second, third, you're going to get that extra at-bat every game.
Brock a ground ball to third last time up. Ryan sets up outside. Target, ball hit the target, which is out of the zone. 1-2 the count.
And, again, depending on how the makeup of your team, it's not uncommon. I did it one time. I can remember we had a legitimate leadoff hitter. We had a good contact guy in the 2-hole. 3 and 4 were the big sluggers. And then we had kind of like another leadoff guy and another contact guy batting 5th and 6th.
Caught by the pitcher, diving back to first base. No chance for a second double play in 3 innings, but there is 2 down.
So depending on who your kids are, that's what you want to do, build your lineup based off your talent.
What are you seeing here? That's the 4th kind of pop-up to the pitcher or catcher in 10 batters face. What is Finley doing to cause that?
I think it's just a little bit of late movement on the pitch, and the hitter is seeing something that they can barrel up, and then by the time they get started, the ball moves inside an inch or 2, and they're just not making very good contact. We've heard up here in this press box a couple of balls hit tonight that were hit hard. The rest of these, honestly, have been very, very soft.
Right.
You could barely even hear them through the glass.
0-1 the count. Popped up again. Third baseman makes the play. Result is the same. And so for Connersville, they have gotten a runner aboard in each inning, but they have yet to get a runner to second base in tonight's game. And Pendleton Heights will enjoy a 1-0 lead going to the home half of the third inning.
Well, and again, that was the pitch that you saw there on the replay that just got in on the hands of Rubel, and she wasn't able to do anything with it as you look at the Pendleton Heights sectional there.
So here is the draw for the sectional that is going to be played right here at Pendleton Heights. Again, the sectional will take place the week before Memorial Day, so it'll be the week of May 23rd. Pendleton Heights and Richmond, Greenfield Central and Mount Vernon, Anderson and Muncie Central awaiting. And again, in other sports, New Pal and Pendleton Heights often kind of get lumped together in terms of their sectional assignments, like in basketball. That is not the case in baseball and softball. New Pal tends to go with the schools from the south side of Indianapolis, Franklin Central, Ron Colley, Perry, etc. Other than that, though, the alignment is the exact same as you would see, say, for the basketball sectionals.
Yeah, again, this is a lot of times these sectional tournaments end up being conference tournaments. The teams that are in your conference, and then you end up playing 3 or 4 of them in the sectional as you look at the Connersville sectional.
Yep. So again, Connersville and Franklin County are the 2 teams that kind of catch your attention off the top. But when Connersville and Franklin County played earlier this year, Connersville had their way with the Wildcats of Franklin County that traditionally are one of the better softball programs in that corner of the state.
Well, again, it speaks, I think, to the type of program that Coach Rubel is building here. You mentioned they only have 1 senior starter. I'm not sure exactly where they've been the last few years, but a lot of times, I mean, you got to kind of almost bring in some new blood and just kind of change the culture a little bit.
So here's Libler. She's going to play at Kent State next year. 10 runs batted in.
Coach Davis would really like to get something out of his 8 and 9 hitters here.
Sails out of the zone from Wolski. 2-1 the count.
It's really about production here and on-base percentage. I mean, for those 7, 8, and 9 people, if you don't like batting 7, 8, or 9, get on base or get a hit. Force me to play you somewhere else.
Just couldn't get to the zone in time. Bit of a late break on that ball that kind of broke around the plate. 3-1. Ball 4. First walk issued by Wolski. Other 2 base runners singled and doubled in the bottom half of the first. For Wolski, just the 6th walk she has allowed in now 39 innings on the season. Here's Lillian Koffel. Koffel batting .359 on the year. And her job is to put that ball left side. Third baseman, can she get her? Yes, close, very close. Runner does advance. There's 1 down.
Got to go down as a sacrifice there, and like you said, the runner does advance. I'm sure we'll get a replay here. Awfully, awfully close. Again, not surprised that you're bunting the 9 hole. Yeah, it looked like she was out.
That was tough to argue either way. Slapper, runner will, well, there's contact made. We'll stop right here. Contact was made between shortstop and third baseman.
So we're going to call obstruction here and award third base.
Yep.
To Libler. She looks like she's a little shaken up there. You know what? Again, sometimes it's like stubbing your toe, man. You just got to kind of sit there and dance around, maybe cuss a little bit and get back up. I think she's going to stay in the game.
But again, nothing nefarious there. Just
no.
Shortstop react.
Yep.
Oh, I know. Shortstop reacted to make the play, and second base umpire, home plate umpire talk about it. I'm not sure if you'll see it kind of behind the screen because that ball never got to the shortstop. But now you see the collision that was made, and again, umpire immediately throws his hands up and.
Yeah, what the umpires are discussing is whether or not they should award either first base or is it a dead ball. I think it's you can either. I mean, the contact, the obstruction had no effect on the play, so they are in fact calling.
I think this is the right call.
I would agree
because it was a clear out at first base because the contact didn't affect the play at first, and so I would agree.
I think it should have been a delayed dead ball.
Right.
In my, the umpire, you saw his hands go up and he calls dead ball, or basically, but he should have just thrown his arm out to the right or left, either one, to indicate delayed dead ball. Let the play go, and then once the play ends, we can go ahead and award the base. And that's really what they should have done. Unfortunately, he did throw his hands up. I didn't hear whether or not he yelled dead ball, which then makes the runner stop. But again, at the end of it, the correct call was the obstruction between second and third. Had absolutely no effect on the pitcher's ability to throw the runner out by 30 feet.
Yeah, both coaches having their word on it, but
and
I think this is the proper call.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't blame either coach for wanting a discussion, an explanation, but at the same time, I think they got it right.
Yep.
And
so runner at third with 2 down.
Now, if you're Pendleton, you got Haley Brunimer, who, again, we mentioned hit those 2 home runs against Roncalli and came into the ballgame batting .393 with 18 RBIs and 5 dingers. So not the end of the world if you're Coach Davis and the Pendleton Heights Arabians.
Here's Brunimer. Has the lone run scored so far in this game. That's right on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Brunimer, a Joey Votto level of choke up on the bat that time.
So I go even further back. Ron Hunt, Felix Mion.
Well,
for
if
the
it's
old
going to go Ron Hunt, she's going to get hit in the shoulder with
exactly.
the pitch. Yes. Go Ron. Lifts this one foul, 0-2 the count.
For those of you listeners of a certain age, back in the early 70s, Ron Hunt played for the Expos, set a Major League Baseball record for being hit by a pitch. I believe it was like 60-some.
In one season?
In one season. It was way up there.
He had the career record, too. That is a foul ball.
And, he would bring a bat up, and I don't even know why he brought a bat up, because he choked up almost halfway on it. He really didn't have much intention, I think, of making contact. And this ball, I think, again, good call by the umpire. That's why you take your lead, as it were, on third base in foul territory. So if it hits you there, it's just a dead ball.
Yeah, ball turned foul before it got to the third base bag. Even though it did hit in fair territory, it turned foul before it got to the bag. 1-2.
Home plate umpire stepped out, had a great angle on it.
Now 2-2.
That's the thing, as a coach, Greg, all I ever asked umpires to do was hustle. Just try to get in the right position to make the call. I understand, you're not going to make them all, but you got to put a little effort into it.
Swing and a miss. Went back to that outside corner. First strikeout for Wolski comes in an opportune time, and a 0 goes on the board for the Arabians. It is still 1-0, and we go to the top of the fourth. You're watching high school softball on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by NineStar Connect, your water and sewer provider.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 160,000 participants here in Indiana who take part in high school sports.
Back here on NineStar on the ISC Sports Network. 3, 4, and 5 coming up this time through for the Spartans. Bailey Spurlock will lead things off. She is one of the 2 players that has made solid contact in today's game for Connersville. Unfortunately, that contact led to a double play. Line drive to the shortstop, and Sarah Rubel had just taken about 1 or 2 steps too many off the first base bag on contact, and that is how the top of the first ended. Off speed to start the at-bat this time, and Spurlock couldn't time it out. 0-1.
Well, and as a hitter, again, every at-bat, you just have to know, you hit it hard. You just happen to hit it right at somebody. That's a good at-bat, so you're seeing it. Get up there. Can't wait to get up there again.
Fastball misses inside. 1-1 the count.
Both baseball and softball can be a very funny game at times, where the kids who are knocking the cover it off the ball are making outs, and the kids that are hitting bloops drop for singles.
This one tails 2-1.
She was ready to pull the trigger, though.
Yep.
You saw her. Nice job, though, of showing some patience and holding up.
An outfield playing slightly to pull. Brunimer especially in center. Drifting towards left, and again, it's the off-speed pitch, a wave as it went by. 2-2 the count.
Really, really nice pitch by Eliza Finley there. Just absolutely keeping Spurlock off balance.
It's one of those where you literally, once you start that motion, you can't stop the swing from that distance. And again, didn't deliver the full fastball that time. Spurlock got just enough to see one more pitch.
Yeah, there's things, that as hitting coaches that you can try to work with your kids and try to get them to, once they recognize off speed, to slow things up and shorten things up. But again, it's much, much easier said than done.
Popped up. Again, a familiar refrain. This time the first baseman makes the play. That's Goodwin, and there's one down. That is the third foul pop-up caught in tonight's game in 12 batters to the plate for Connersville.
Well, again, it goes back to that late movement, just not being able to barrel the ball up. You see a pitch that you think is either right down the middle of the plate, and then by the time it gets to you, it's on the inner half, and therefore on your hands, or it's on the outer half, and therefore off the end of the bat. Just not making good contact tonight.
That's in for a strike. Brescher Drew Walker last time up. And she and Sarah Rubel that have the team lead in home runs with 5. And you are still in one swing territory in terms of potentially tying this game up if you're Connersville. Wasn't that swing. 0-2 the count. As again, the off speed really giving Connersville hitters some fits the second time through the lineup.
Well, yeah, because then you've seen off speed, and she had a big Ruthian cut, but if you saw in the replay there, she just kind of pulled her head a little bit. Got to swing the bat as hard as you can without moving your head.
That was more of a Bugs Bunny cut on his way to Albuquerque.
Sure. It's one of those here. Just if you're in a big hurry to swing at this.
The 1-2. Headed right our direction. I had it.
Yeah, I was under the table. I always
I wouldn't go that far.
I was always able you to protect me here. I'm not quite like the president where I have people diving in front of bullets, but if you don't mind getting in front of some of these baseballs and softballs when we work together.
I once had to play that role for Pat McAfee in a celebrity softball game one time.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I was his audio guy, and my job was to...
We can replace you, but Pat McAfee was pretty good.
Reaches down and gets this one. Great play. Smart play by the third baseman. That's so good by Libler. Knew that she picked that up. She didn't really have a play at first base and just waited for it to steer foul. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Well, again, that veteran leadership and just, obviously Bryn has played a lot of softball games, and she just saw that didn't look good, didn't look right. So let's just see if we can't get her on an off-speed pitch here and punch her out.
Rise ball sails high, 2-2. Couple of plays earlier I thought the Arabians made a mistake by not fielding the ball in the field of play. That was the opposite. That was the absolute right play.
Yeah, the one was by Kylie Ryan, the catcher. But I think once she realized she couldn't get it in the air, and you're right, if she'd had the wherewithal to say, you know what, the runner stopped, I can get this.
Swing and a miss. And this has not been a game with a lot of strikeouts. In fact, that's the first one authored by Finley. Both pitchers have relied on their defense to make the plays, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, but, again, credit both pitchers, too, because, again, they're getting these very weak contact hits that their fielders are able to make the play. But, again, it's because they're pitching so well. Neither team's able to make good contact.
Dunaway for the second at bat, skies it. This time it's the shortstop that makes the play, and for the first time in tonight's game, Connersville is retired in order. I say that, and they have all of 1 hit so far in the contest. We are halfway through this one in Pendleton with the Arabians leading at 1-0 here on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network. And frankly, there has been minimal work for the outfielders to do for Pendleton Heights. There have been 2 balls hit to the outfield at this point. A fly ball to Brunimer in the second, and a single to left in the third. That's it. Everything else has stayed on the dirt tonight because of the hard work of Finley in the circle. You don't have to cross that train to get home, do you?
I do not.
Me too. I just get to run parallel to it for 20 miles at a time. So
I'll tell you what, I'm thinking about wanting to see if I can rent this place, man. You look back here. There's plenty of room back here.
Your next broadcast for us is here on Thursday.
Plus, I tell you what.
They got a little cable back there for you, something to watch.
You know what? I'm sure there's a little refrigerator, and
I'm sure they have super fast internet speeds from NineStar.
I'm sure they do. You know what it reminds me of?
You want.
Remember Fonzie lived atop the Cunningham garage? He had that wooden staircase on the side of a building. And
I know who Fonzie is. I know who played Fonzie. I know he's on Happy Days. But asking me to recite Happy Days, I'm sorry. That's a bit of the age generation, the difference between us right there.
I am sickened and saddened.
That misses. Want to know I can tell you the actors that are on Happy Days.
Yeah.
I know it was set in Wisconsin.
Yes.
I know that, Opie Taylor played Richie Cunningham.
Yes.
I know these things.
You're getting closer.
Right, but in terms I know that Fonzie jumped the shark. That's all I know about the show. That's in for a strike. 1-1 the count.
Well, Fonzie lived above the Cunningham's garage, and it was a cinder block building, and it had wooden steps, and it was big. And I'm waiting on Potsy or Ralph Mouth to come through the door at any moment.
Now, when he got up the steps to his place, did he go, "Hey"?
Of course he did. Okay. He had to. It was. He had to say that 3 or 4 times in every episode.
I can see the van shaking from Painter laughing at our conversation right now. This one misses high, 3-1 the count. This is DeRolf, and DeRolf, again, by far has made the most solid contact of the day. She had the double to right center field. Wolski might be kind of pitching around her because of that. Brings up in the air, and that one ricochets off the pitcher's leg. They will have a play at first. There's an out there, but now you're worried about the pitcher.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Again, you can tell the contact was hard right on the shin.
Yep.
And just the way that she's writhing in pain, it does not look good. I'm sure that Pendleton has somebody. We have a trainer, I think, coming on the field now. You're going to see the replay here. This ball was tattooed as well. And, again, might have got her in the right knee, but I think it got her in the shin. Either way, the third baseman was able to come up with it. That was Bailey Spurlock fire across the breaster to get the out, but that's not the concern for really much of anybody, even Pendleton fans. Very concerned right now for Wolski.
So again, 1-5-3 is the way that is scored. That is, frankly, the least important thing going on right now. Nobody on and one out in the bottom of the fourth. And again, hopefully it's one of those that where, again, once you try to stretch out your knee a little bit, hopefully that pain kind of goes away. But obviously that is in the way a softball pitch is thrown. We'll talk about in baseball, hey, this is your plant leg, this is your drive leg. Well, really, you're using both of those, to drive home in terms from 43 feet away, and it's an unfortunate part of the game that you were at risk being that far away from home plate.
Well, that's why so many pitchers, of course, wear the protective mask when they pitch, but a lot of infielders do the same. And I don't know. It looks to me like I can't imagine that she's going to come back, and looks to be in a lot of pain. And like you said, it'd be different if it was the third baseman. They could kind of wobble around down there and go after the occasional ball. But when you're the pitcher who has to basically go full out on every single pitch, it's going to be difficult. I mean, I say that she gets up, so
Yep.
I hope I'm wrong here, but the other pitcher for Connersville this year has been Kindred Conley.
Now I would assume she's going to get some pitches to
sure
to get loose. And
again, we always talk about it. It's again one of the things that's nice about high school athletics. In the year 2020 or the 2020 decade, almost everybody has a trainer on staff. Was not that way for years. I mean, when you and I played. And even when I started coaching in the mid-'90s, that's where it started kind of coming in, where teams would have certified athletic trainers that were affiliated with local hospitals, really versed in sports medicine, not just medicine. A lot of times you might have a team doctor, or maybe a parent was in the stands that was a doctor of some sort, but sports medicine and athletic training has become a big deal in the last 40 years.
Our athletic trainer when I was in high school is now a flight attendant, so it tells you all you kind of need to know about that.
Ours was an assistant coach, and we used to call him Coach Ice It and Elevate It.
Yep.
That was his advice for everything.
Also the get-back coach as well.
Yep.
By the way, Chris Chambers serves as the athletic trainer here at Pendleton Heights High School. So Wolski will soldier on. No grimace on that pitch. She appears to be ready to go, and it's Kylie Ryan whom she will face. Ryan, a ground ball RBI her first time up. That run batted in her 19th of the season. Whoa. 2-0 the count.
Well, unfortunately, that's the second time we've had a little.
Well, there's some water in the wiring, because of the rain that we had. So, smack this one to left field, and a base hit. So Ryan gets the third base hit of the game for the Arabians, their first since the first inning. And now Ryan will get a courtesy runner for her with she being in the catcher's position. So coming in to run for her will be Kylie Fisher. So 1 on, 1 out, and Chloe Gregory will step to the plate.
Fisher with 0 stolen bases on the night, so clearly into, like you said, courtesy run. Sometimes if you're a coach, you can game that a little bit, put your really fast runner out there and try to take advantage of that rule.
In for a strike. Gregory hit it hard, but hit it to the left fielder last time up. And she was at the plate when DeRolf tried to score on a wild pitch back in the first and was thrown out at home plate. Ground ball, great diving effort, and they get the lead run. That was 2 fantastic plays. I thought that Spurlock might just look to first to make sure he got the sure thing. Only made the diving stop, got the lead runner too. Well done, 2 down.
Yeah, without question. Again, a lot of times the way you coach that is, again, you got the runner coming out of the box. That's probably your best play because she has further to run, but she makes it work. And, again, when that happens, you just, as a coach, you come off the bench and you go, nice play, kid.
This one, center fielder drifting back and makes the play. That's Dunaway. That's the first ball really hit her direction the entire day. And she makes the play, and the inning is over. To the top of the fifth we go. It remains a one spot for Pendleton Heights. They lead 1-0 here on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network.
At NineStar Connect, we're a different kind of utility. We're a nonprofit cooperative owned by our members, the friends and neighbors we serve. We work for you. So we're committed to delivering dependable and affordable electricity to over 17,000 homes, schools, and businesses. And we know the best internet service is all about speed and reliability. We deliver both over our high-speed fiber optic network throughout East Central Indiana. At NineStar Connect, we are a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great. Participate!
Welcome back. Greg Rakestraw, Jim Leisure with you on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network. Want to thank our friends at NineStar for their assistance with us on ISC and being able to televise from the historic Hoosier Gym in Knightstown the Hoosier Gym Classic on Saturday. Some of the best boys and girls high school basketball players in the state of Indiana, including Miss Basketball Ayanna Patterson from Homestead. Numerous Division I players in both the boys and girls game. Had a blast on Saturday afternoon. Would not have been possible without the good folks at NineStar. Thank you very much. Here's Lucas. Lucas Wolski Green. 6, 7, and 8. First pitch, lifted center field. Center fielder barely has to move. That's Brunimer, and there's one away.
Well, one pitch, one out. Again, nicely played by Brunimer. The ball, like I said, did not require much movement. Pretty good contact. This is probably maybe the second or best ball that they've actually squared up.
You want to take a guess as to how many ground ball outs there have been for Connersville today?
You know what? You're making me think, and that's not my strength. I'm going to say 2.
One away. One. The first batter of the game was a ground ball to third base. Every out since that time has ended in a mitt. One in the catcher.
Right.
Everything else, somebody fielding it. There was one double play in that top of the first as well, but everything else has been a line drive or a pop-up at this point. Here's Wolski. She, too, flew out to center field last time up. And this one will reach the seats. First baseman gives chase, but it's a few feet away from our camera position down the line. 1-1.
And Caitlin Goodwin, the sophomore first baseman for Pendleton, got over there, and, you know, they've done such a fantastic job on the field itself, but the areas over in foul territory still look like a little bit of a mud bog there, and she luckily was able to keep her footing, but she almost hit the deck.
Able to lay off that one.
Of course, one of the reasons why this infield dirt is so good, too, is Pendleton has the luxury of having a tarp, which not many schools do.
Right. You and I were talking about this off the air. There has been a Division I college softball tournament played at this facility a handful of years ago to give you an idea as to how good the facility is. Horizon League had their tournament here a little more than a decade ago.
I've actually never been on the other diamond here, but it does look, you know, again, nice press box, good seating area. I imagine the dimensions are very similar. Scoreboard's a little bit smaller, but again, you certainly could play on it.
And when they play the Horseshoe Classic,
yes,
obviously both fields are in use when that is the case.
Again, just another indication of just how important softball is to the folks here in Pendleton, both to their coaching staff and their athletic staff.
Hop to home plate. I also think this is our first full count of this game.
I believe you are correct.
2 walks have been issued by Findlay, none since the second. 1 walk Wolski has allowed. That came to Libler in the third.
And see, again, this is what I really like to watch. I like to watch this battle, just what pitch is going to be thrown.
Here it is, hit it. That was the battle
Yep,
there. And
yep.
Wolski sprays it foul, and we'll do this at least one more time.
So, again, I would assume that Eliza Findlay's probably going to change something up, whether it's location, speed, the type of pitch, whatever. But I just love it because it's
Sure.
nice as a coach. I don't care who wins. I just love to see the battle.
This one hit well. Brunimer drifting back at the fence, looks up, tie game. Wolski, her second home run of the season, and it's one apiece here in the top half of the fifth.
Well, again, just kind of that game within the game there, and the two very, very good players here battling back and forth, and Wolski wins that battle. And again, we'll see the next time she comes up what type of pitches she gets. But good job of fouling off the pitcher's pitch and then staying in there, and just really, really nice swing there. And I think the ball kind of clanks off the scoreboard here a little bit.
24th home run for Connersville, and this their 16th game of the season. And despite the fact they have not made solid contact most of the day, on just their second hit of the day, they have tied this game at 1. And this one, inside out swing, Brunimer drifting over, and she covers a lot of ground in center and made what was a difficult play look easy. 2 down.
Yeah, she's right-handed hitter, so she's playing to the left field side of the second base here. And the ball just, again, it's kind of the outer half of the plate, so she's going to hit it where it's pitched. And Brunimer just does a really nice job. Pitcher's friend out there in center field, the senior, Haley Brunimer.
So here's Rubel. Carmen, a freshman, is the catcher. Sarah of the Rubels, a junior, plays shortstop. This is the second trip to the lineup, and before Wolski's blast, she has the only other hit of the game. This one won't go as far. Second baseman has a beat on that one. That would be Shelton. The inning is over, but the damage is done, and Connersville, again, an offensive juggernaut all season long, has their first run of the game, courtesy of the pitcher in Wolski, hitting her second home run of the season. So to the bottom of the fifth we go as the sunshine starts to fight through those clouds to the west. It is now 1-1 going to the home half of the fifth.
Well, again, if you're the pitcher, Liza Finley, you gave up a couple of hard-hit balls there. The one obviously got out of the yard, but the second one was hit well too. But, as a coach, and I'm sure the Coach Davis and his staff over there are saying, all right, you know what, that's over. I mean, all that stuff it's over now. As you look at the skies there, the sun is fighting through a ominous-looking bank of clouds out there. Hopefully the sun wins out. Again, it's over now. The most important play you're going to play, or the pitch, is the next one. It's over. Let's get some runs, right? We got our kids coming up here, and we're batting 7, 8, and 9. Again, you'd like ideally to get 2 of these folks on via the walk or a base hit, and then bring 1, 2, 3 up to see if we can't get them on, get them over, and get them in.
The home run allowed by Finley, the 8th that she has given up in just shy of 79 innings of pitching, and that is just because of the caliber of schedule that Pendleton Heights plays on a regular basis. And to give you kind of the we'll play you anytime, anywhere mentality of Rob Davis, you were here for that game in early April against Roncalli. That game was agreed to the night before.
Yeah.
And thankfully they alerted John Painter and our staff, said, hey, you want to come televise? And the answer was, of course.
Absolutely.
Knowing that Roncalli is the defending state champs, and knowing the caliber of a player that Keegan Rothrock is, and caliber of program that David Lauk has built. The AD at Roncalli is also the softball coach at Roncalli as well. And again, Pendleton Heights has added another game the last week of the year against another rated team. This one from the 2A variety. Eastern Hancock is going to come here on Monday, May 16th. That game has been added to the schedule as well for the Arabians.
Well, an athletic director's work is really never done, but certainly not in the spring, when events just need to be rescheduled probably more than any other season. I mean, football in the fall and stuff, I mean, it rains and stuff, but basketball, unless there's a snow or ice situation. But in the spring, you got track, tennis, baseball, softball, all of it can get weathered out, as they say.
Good one. Let's watch the first 3 go by without having a strike against her. 3-0. Goodwin hit it back to the pitcher last time up. Goodwin batting well into the 300s with 3 home runs and 14 runs batted in. You would think the take sign's on here. It was, and that right across the black for a strike, 3-1 the count.
Yeah, it might have been at the top of the zone on the outside corner there, but that's all right. Again, 3-1's still a great pitch to hit. It wasn't, again, that's not a bad call.
You tend to get a little neighborhood call when it's 3-0.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Again, back to the pitcher. Wolski, no problem. And there's one away.
Well, Shelby Wolski there says, listen, I am not going to let this one get in on me.
That's right.
I want to throw some leather in front of it and see what happens.
Here's Libler. Libler walked and made it to third. She was the young lady that made contact with a shortstop, and interference was called, and again, rightfully so. Rubel needs a moment. A little kind of dirt in her eyes. Again, let's credit the folks here at Pendleton Heights for the way they have maintained this field and got it ready in less than ideal conditions this afternoon. I would imagine this is one of the handful of games that takes place in the state today, at least the northern two-thirds of the state, because of the amount of rain we have received in the last 18 hours or so.
No doubt about it.
This one sails high 2-0. So it's very fitting that a sectional is held here at this facility. And of course, regionals are also up to the host sites as well in terms of who wins the sectional. That's not my part of the parenting show, so I can't tell you which sectional is hosting whom in terms of the regional. That's the part where Jim might say, hey, go to IHSAA.org for more information.
And that's what I do. I do everything you tell me to do, first of all, but I'm always going to IHSAA.org to find out stuff.
Where's my drink? 3-0 the count. And that misses high ball 4.
Well, that's the second walk at the game, eighth walk on the season for Libler. And again, we talked about it. If you're Pendleton, you want to get people on, get them over, and get them in. Now, the last time up, Lily Koffel laid down a nice sacrifice bunt. We'll see if Coach Davis has similar plans.
So the walks given today, both been to Libler and Koffel. This time, shortstop and third baseman, a little better scouted on that play.
Yeah. Coach Davis with some very brief signals. Of course, it doesn't have to take much. It could be the bill of his cap or
Koffel trying to slap that one down to the third base side and couldn't make contact. 0-2. So this marks the second trip to the lineup for the Arabians. They will throw down to first, and you get a little advantage if you're the runner at first base when you got a lefty at home plate in that scenario. Catcher's always got to throw around that runner in that setup.
Rayleigh Brescher with a nice job digging that ball in the dirt. She actually got down on her knees to make sure the ball did not go into right field. She was going to take one into the chest if she had to, because again, if that ball gets away, and it was nasty from the catcher.
Rubel moved that ball 6 inches trying to get that ball, get the corner, tried to frame it as best she could. That one also misses outside, now to 3-2. Well, this is the first time that we have seen Wolski really kind of get deep into counts in the game.
That's a big pitch. I mean, if you can work a walk here or get a little slap over the infield for a base hit.
That one is foul. But again, to give you an idea of the pitching quality we have seen today, there has been one inning with multiple base runners on. First inning for Pendleton Heights.
I got to be honest with you, Greg, I'm a little impressed with this Connersville team. I wasn't sure what to expect. I saw the record.
Slapper, third baseman, Spurlock, got her. Bang, bang. Spurlock again has fielded her position exceedingly well today. Runner moves to second base, and there's 2 down.
Yeah, not really a sacrifice, obviously, because she didn't actually bunt it, but she was trying to beat this thing out, and nice job. She's clearly out at first base. More importantly for Pendleton, Coach Davis, is you got a runner in scoring position. So 2 outs. We're running on anything hit to the 1 out. I'm sorry. So there is 2 outs. So guys look at the scoreboard, which I always told kids never trust the scoreboard. We're moving on anything hit to the outfield, and we're scoring. We're scoring on anything hit to the outfield. If they catch it in the air, it's third out. So what? The only place where we're not really moving probably is if it's hit really, really hard to the shortstop or certainly to the third baseman.
Ball misses high. So here's Hubble. Ground ball to the first baseman. Smacked one back to the pitcher as well. Hubble's not had many 0 for 3 days this year. She's 0 for 2 right now. Count in her favor and lifts this one to center field. Base hit. They'll hold the runner at third. Center fielder was playing shallow. And you and I were scouting, just I'm sure Coach Davis was. Dunaway has got a good arm in center field. So in that scenario, you're going to leave the runner at first and third and let your next hitter try to move the runners over and in.
Yeah, again, good arm is selling it short. She has an absolute cannon out there. Now, again, the runner, Libler, had to go around the shortstop. Again, there was no contact.
This one, sprayed foul. Do you think about doing anything with the runner at first base here with your leadoff batter aboard?
You know what? Personally, I'd have to know the catcher better. I'd have to know because if it's my catcher and Kylie Ryan, no, yeah. But if it's somebody that I think I can get a base, yeah, certainly.
Line one hopper, shortstop knocks it down. Couldn't make the play at second. Runner trying to advance to third. Throw gets away from the third baseman. And that's into the dugout. Everybody's up. She's going to score. Well, the first set of miscues today for either side help lead to an additional run, if not two. The Arabians jump back in front 3-1 here in the home half of the fifth.
Just a flurry of activity there, Greg. We've been kind of lulled to sleep here a little bit. And scored, I think, a base hit on the first one there. And then after that, it's where the air is. Obviously, the air on the throw there from second base. So E4 leads her to get all the way to third.
I am apparently meaner than you. I would put 2 errors on that play.
Oh, there could be 2. You're talking about when the ball was hit?
Shortstop,
Okay,
yep.
all right.
Yep.
All right.
DeRolf over to second, and the inning is over, but the damage most certainly done. So 2-run score on a 2-out ground ball to the shortstop, and with that, it is now 3-1 in favor of the home team. Stay tuned. Top of the sixth comes your way next as you're watching on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned NineStar Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at NineStarConnect.com. NineStar is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Who knew that NineStar Connect, a local smart utility, has the fastest internet in Indiana? NineStar offers speeds up to 2 gig. That's upload and download speeds. Try getting that from any other provider. No data limits or caps on speed. The speed you pay for is the speed you get. NineStar has state-of-the-art fiber optics with a dedicated line to each house. NineStar Connect, Indiana's fastest internet. Who knew?
Free game until ground ball to the shortstop towards the end of the bottom of the fifth. Ends up leading to a couple of runs, and now Connersville has 6 outs to make up said 2 runs. They trail 3-1, top of the lineup rolling back through here in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch swinging, and it's Brock who sprays that foul.
Well, third time through, so if you're Coach Davis, you really just want to see, your pitcher here, Eliza Finley, just work her way through this lineup. This is a tough situation. Good hitters, great spot to get better.
This one could be trouble. Right fielder can't get there in time. Yep, just a perfectly placed fly ball. Leadoff single by Brock, and that is just the second time today the leadoff runner is aboard for Connersville.
Well, she got what she wanted. Again, the ball's in on the hands. It kind of goes inside, and unfortunately, just because of the positioning of the defense, right fielder was too deep and second baseman wasn't quite deep enough. I think she got the pitch she wanted, got the result she wanted, unfortunately not the spot she wanted it to drop.
Here's Rubel. Pop up to the third baseman last time up. So tying run in the batter's box for the Spartans. We've already seen Ryan kind of have a couple of snap throws down to first, so you always teach your runner to get a little bit of a secondary lead at the end of the play, but you can't stray too far off the bag.
No, and you need to be getting back. The minute that you see she's caught the ball, you got to be getting back.
Again, a pop-up. Second baseman has it. There's Shelton, one down.
used to tell my runners, again, I love a good aggressive secondary lead, but then once the ball is caught by the catcher, you're either stealing or you're getting back, but you're not standing there. You stand there, you find yourself out.
This one loss for Connersville coming in was to a Hoosier Heritage Conference team, that being Newcastle. 6-0 on April the 4th. In the remaining victories that Connersville has had this year, they have scored 6 runs or more in all of those 14 games. Here's Spurlock. 0 for 2. Thought about trying to bunt her way on for a base hit. Nothing there. And again, to show you the offensive prowess of Connersville, they have been in double figures in terms of runs in 11 of their 15 games this year. Tells you the job that Finley is doing in the circle today for Pendleton Heights. Popped up, that'll reach the seats, and it's 1-2.
Now this would be a big batter for Finley to get if she can get her right here. And lady that bats 600 and, like you said, 19 RBIs, and got to come up with a really good pitch here.
Two and two.
I like that choice too, though. You know, see if you can get her to fish. She's obviously, she wants to swing the bat. She's aggressive. You tried it didn't work. Now go back to, let's get her right here.
Spurlock turns on this one. Left fielder backing up towards the wall, and it's in play, but it's not caught. Crocus with a shortstop. So a tough play, but one that could have been made by the Arabians instead. It has runners on second and third to Connersville, so the tying run is in scoring position. Go-ahead run comes to home plate with just one down.
Well, again, you're going to see some outfield play here where it's so important that you communicate. The center fielder has all priority, so I don't know, again, if Brunimer's calling it or not. If the left fielder's calling it and Haley feels like she can't get there, then she needs to back away. It didn't help necessarily that they kind of crashed into each other.
So first kind of meeting of the minds today here inside of the circle. And it is the cleanup hitter in Brescher that is due up here. She has walked and struck out in today's game. And again, Spurlock missed the second home run of the game for Connersville by, well, that much. You see it right there next to our camera by maybe 3 or 4 feet.
And in fairness to both the outfielders there in Hubble and Brunimer, I mean, that's a tough play. That ball could not have been in a better spot if you're the hitter. But again, what it boils down to is communication, and then that allows one of those players, either the left fielder or the center fielder, to run through the ball. You know, as if you're communicating well and you're communicating early, then you know, hey, you know what, I'm good. I'm just going to go get this thing. I may hit the fence, but I'm not going to hit my fielder. So as an ex-outfielder and outfield coach, I always like to see those plays made. I know how tough they are. She fouls that off. I know they're not easy. But, you know, again, that's why we practice them, and you just want them. You want to see them, and unfortunately for Coach Davis and Pendleton, they just didn't get to play there.
Quick note of the infield alignment. A ground ball up the middle would score a run, and I think Pendleton Heights would gladly trade the out for the run here. With just one out and runners on second and third here in the top of the 6th.
That one just gets away from Finley there. Nice job by Ryan of stopping it to allow a Spartan run to score.
1-1. This one sent to right field. Right fielder backing up and can't make the play. Runner will score from third. Runner will then come around from second to score as well. Tie game at 3 apiece.
Well, we talked about it, Greg. You know, third time through the lineup's always a tough time for pitchers at any level, really. But, you know, they've had an opportunity to see Eliza Finley twice now, and they know how she sets them up. And, you know, earlier in the game, they weren't making good contact. Everything was off the hands, off the end of the bat. Obviously, this inning, they're kind of squaring some balls up.
I mean, this is a Connersville team that has torn the cover off the ball all year, so they were due at some point in time. So every time the Pendleton Heights has scored, Connersville has found a way to answer. And we're tied at 3 here in the top of the 6th. So Dunaway, 0 for 2. Pop up to the pitcher, pop up to the shortstop. Ground ball, shortstop, throws over to first. First baseman makes the play, runner advances behind the play. Well done defensively, there's 2 down.
Yeah, really nice job there by Caitlin Goodwin at first base, ball in the dirt. She had to stretch, backhand the thing. And Eliza Finley is saying, man, am I glad I give her a ride to the stadium today, because without that right there, another run goes in for Connersville.
So here's Lucas, who is 0 for 2. Fouled out to the catcher, flew out to the center fielder. Conversation between our 2 umpires today, but whatever it was seems to have gone by the wayside quickly.
I think Coach Rubel and his staff were wanting to know if she'd pulled her foot, and it's not uncommon for the base umpire, who's all the way out in left center, or not left center, but left center area there, that asked the umpire, did she have her foot on the bag, and he apparently said yes.
We had that on our replay that she did, no problem. So Lucas, 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in on the season. By the way, do give Brescher a pair of RBI on that ball to right field, her 20th and 21st of the campaign. Popped up. Left fielder coming in. Should have a beat on it, makes the play, and the inning is over. But again, Connersville has an answer. These 2 teams are playing like they're ranked in the top 10 in their class in the state of Indiana. 3 apiece, going to the home half of the 6th, with Kylie Ryan to lead things off for Pendleton Heights.
Well, again, I said it earlier, I wasn't sure what to expect with Connersville. I saw the record, I saw the batting averages, and I appreciated the fact that they did kind of get in the bus and come up here and play, some really good Central Indiana competition. I apologize to the Connersville team and the entire city. It's a pretty good softball team.
You ever had a chance to go down to a game with the Spartan Bowl?
I have 2 or 3 times,
and
I love it. It's really just Newcastle light. I don't know this for sure, but it had to have been the same architect. The 2 buildings, Newcastle Chrysler Fieldhouse and the Spartan Bowl, very similar in their build. One is just about, 2/3, the size of the other one. I think Connersville seats about 4,500 or so, and it may be higher than that. And then, of course, Newcastle supposedly, depending on where the pull-out bleachers are, and if you believe the folks in Seymour, they're the largest. So
here's Ryan. Single last time up, ground ball RBI the time before that. And turns on that one foul, 0-1 the count.
And if you're Pendleton, all's not lost. I mean, obviously you would have liked to have held the lead there. You didn't. So, again, you got to go off and you got to play the next one here. You got 4, 5, and 6 coming up. And this is a great opportunity for these girls to be challenged in this situation against some pretty good competition. This is why you play these games. You could play a lower level team and beat them, 17-1 and 5.
And that one tails away, 1-1 the count.
But like I've always said, those games, nobody gets anything out of that. The winning team doesn't get anything. The losing team doesn't get, the umpires don't get anything.
This one, smoked to left center. It'll hit the wall. Ryan makes the turn at first. Heading into second base, good relay toss, but Ryan flies to the bag and has a lead-off double for the soon-to-be Butler Bulldog.
Really, really nice contact there, and then more importantly, too, as we get the courtesy runner for Ryan. She had that play right in front of her, Greg. She saw the throw, was taking the second baseman off the bag, so she knew she was in there. Great, great swing there. Throw the hands, fire the hips. You're going to see a great job here from our camera crew as she's coming to second base. You're getting the same view she is, and she can see that ball's up, off, away from the bag. She knows she's in.
It's a good throw by Lucas. So here's Gregory. Gregory puts the bunt down. They'll take the out. They'll throw to first. The sacrifice successful. So the courtesy runner is at third, but to show you how important that run is, you just asked a hitter just south of 400A. You got to move her over because we need to get this not an insurance run, but the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, again, people can second-guess that decision all they want, but again, it is the 6th inning, and if you get this run in, hopefully you can go 1, 2, 3 and win the ballgame.
This one line to right field. That'll be a base hit. Runner will score, make it 4-3 Arabians, and it'll be a double for Shelton. And part of that, too, is it shows you how good this lineup is 1 through 9 for Pendleton. It's okay, we've got a senior who's going to play college softball next year. You put down the bunt, knowing the person behind you will do their job and drive the runner home.
Well, and without question, and I started to say before the big double there by Shelton, but is that, you don't want the first time a young lady's been asked to sacrifice bunt to be in the regional championship. You say, why would you do that? Well, you may get in the regional championship or semi-state game, and you may feel like you have to, I got to get a bunt down here, and you give the bunt signal to a kid who probably doesn't even know what it is because they haven't seen it all year, and then you're asking her to do it in that, and this is enough of a tense situation. Imagine how tense it's going to be in the regional championship or semi-state. So I like the call. Obviously, it worked out. It's better when it works out if you're a coach. But I like, ask her to do it.
So this was Goodwin's spot in the lineup. Pinch hitter coming in here. This is Sydney Clark that is at the plate for the Arabians.
I would imagine Goodwin would come back in defensively.
Goodwin had a couple of tappers back to the pitcher. Caught by the second baseman. Throw behind. Almost 2 down. Good hands at second by Brock.
Well, again, it's that freeze on a line drive thing here, and that ball was tattooed, and nice job by the shortstop getting there as well, and very, very close, but I think she was safe.
By the way, let's compliment our men in blue tonight. They both have done a fantastic job.
And it hadn't been easy. They've had a good handful of bang-bang plays.
Been a well-officiated game. 1-0 the count is Libler, who has walked twice and scored once. Watches that one go by. And carries this one to right field for a base hit. They'll give the sign for the runner to come home, throw up the line, not in time. There's an insurance run for Pendleton Heights. The lead grows to 2 at 5-3.
Well, again, just moving on contact. 2 outs, you don't got to worry about anything. Nice job of getting the ball, finding the hole. Really no chance at home. Not a bad throw, but again, just with the runner just moving on contact, not having to worry about line drives and those kinds of things. Just an impossible play for the right fielder.
Another pinch hitter coming in here. Avery Mullenkopf will come in for the Arabians. Avery, a senior. So you see her average on the year. This was Koffel's spot in the lineup. First pitch swinging, pops it up. Right on top of our broadcast location. Avery 2 for 14 this year. Her 18th plate appearance. And this one lifted to center field. Dunaway's got it, and the inning is over. But 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and the Arabians trying to make it 1 or fewer in the 7th to pick up their 15th win of the year. They lead Connersville 5-3 going to the final stanza. Back after this on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network.
3, 2, 1.
Has the first dunk in the building from Zoya. Waits, Waddell finishes and lays it in. There is right now the play of the game. Better finish. Good. We might see that on plays of the week. Great feed. The finish. Spin. Win. 3. Bury it to the lane. No. Gun. Yes. Gun. Whoa. What a play. Flying in.
At NineStar Connect, our history spans back to the late 1800s, where family time, building livelihoods and neighborhoods, sharing stories of the day, and looking forward to chasing new dreams were important to all of us. Today, NineStar still values these things. That's why we have a local 24/7, 365 support center. We are still here for you, as it's been for the past 125 years. At NineStar Connect, we're a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
So for a third different time in this game, Pendleton Heights has taken a lead. They scored 1 in the bottom half of the first, 2 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the bottom of the 6th. And the young lady that tied it for the first time for Connersville in Wolski with a solo blast, the pitcher, she is at the plate. She's in danger of getting her first loss of the season in the circle, even though I think she has pitched well in today's game and certainly shown some toughness after being hit in the leg midway through today's contest on a batted ball back up the middle by Caroline DeRolf.
Finley here again, showing her a lot of respect here. Remembers that long ball last time up. But again, she's got to be excited here as you're facing 6, 7, 8, and 9 if it comes to that.
Turns on this one. Left fielder has a beat on that one. Catch is made. 1 down. Here's Green, who is 0 for 2. Green, a pop up to the catcher and a fly ball to the center fielder in her 2 previous plate appearances.
So she's shown that she can drive the ball a little bit, obviously just popping out to center field. So again, you got to be a little bit careful. But if I'm Coach Davis, I want Eliza Finley to just go right at her. And not necessarily with fastballs, but I mean attack the hitter. I mean give her your best effort here and your best pitch selection and pitch location, all those things. This is a big at bat.
This Connersville team will be in action tomorrow as they go play at Franklin County. Big conference game. Popped up. Second baseman drifting back, makes the play. That's Shelton, and the Spartans down to a final out. Another big game coming up next week. In fact, 2 of them. Monday, Tuesday. Connersville goes to East Central, and that's a big game because, again, East Central is far and away the biggest school in the Eastern Indiana Conference. And then they will host New Pal. Then Markham takes his team to Connersville next Tuesday. Popped up, third baseman makes the play, and this one is over. Finley picks up her 11th win of the season. Pendleton Heights will bump their record to 15-3. Connersville falls just the second time this year. They fall to 14-2, but frankly, this is a game that will make both teams better for the postseason 3 weeks from now.
Without question, Greg, and I say it all the time. I mean, again, you play these games because, like what you just said, as you see the replay again, another pitch that just the movement in on the hands makes for an easy pop-up on the infield. But this game made both teams better, much better than beating some, hapless, smaller schools 17-1. Nobody gets anything out of that, but I think both teams, and I think if you ask Coach Rubel, he's more than happy that he brought his kids from Connersville. Not sure how long of a trip that is, but it's not short. But it was well worth it for him.
We'll have our cameras back here on Thursday when Pendleton Heights returns to Hoosier Heritage Conference play when they take on Mount Vernon. Again, John Herrick and Jim Lees will have all the action for you then. For now, this is Greg Rakestraw saying good night from Pendleton. The Arabians win at 5-3. Thank you for watching on NineStar and the ISC Sports Network.
At NineStar Connect, our history spans back to the late 1800s, where family time, building livelihoods and neighborhoods, sharing stories of the day, and looking forward to chasing new dreams were important to all of us. Today, NineStar still values these things. That's why we have a local 24/7, 365 support center. We are still here for you, as it's been for the past 125 years. At NineStar Connect, we're a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Ball here. Harris scores. With 19 seconds left. Same players, big boy. I'm telling you right now, that's awesome. I love it. That's the finish. You get a layup taken and an and one. Fly ball. Out of here.
Hi, I'm Query.
And I'm Schultz.
And of course, we do the incredibly creatively and appropriately named Query and Schultz program every Monday on ISC Sports Network. Derek, it airs at what time?
7:30.
Okay, every Monday at 7:30. We're now on season number 2, and if history tells us anything, catch us now because you never know when they pull the plug on it.
How would you say that?
Because it's happened
That's not going
before.
to happen here. Comcast, Xfinity 81, ISCSportsNetwork.com, ISC Sports Network, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, so many places to watch Query and Schultz, 7:30 on Monday.
Throw it up for Tillman.
Whoa, my goodness. 122 6-0 for Penn.
What a swim!
6 of them.